Yo, what's going on everybody? Hope everybody is doing well. Today we're going to be talking about how you can farm Technocyte Coda weapons. Obviously the Technocyte Coda are the brand new adversaries we're getting in Warframe. We have two other adversary systems in the game with the Grineer and the Corpus, and those adversaries are the Kuvaliches and the Sisters of Parvos. Now with the Technocyte Coda we have the infested adversaries, which means of course we have better variants of specific infested weapons. This is not that different from the other adversary systems, so let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, you need to make sure you don't have a current adversary active, which means if you have a Kuvalich or a Sisters of Parvos active, you need to go vanquish or convert them and actually get rid of the adversary before you can get a Technocyte Coda adversary. Once you confirm that you don't have an adversary currently active, you want to go into 1999. Any type of mission in 1999 will do, and while you're doing the 1999 missions, Tech Raw enemies will have a chance to drop a unique item once they're killed. You'll know it's a custom item because you'll see the custom icon, and you want to pick up this custom item and bring it to a virus-riddled PC. Once you do, you have to complete a hacking puzzle, and once you complete the puzzle, all you have to do is go to extraction, and you will then get yourself a Technocyte Coda adversary. However, one difference between this adversary system and the other two is the fact that there will be no weapon information displayed on the Technocyte Coda screen. And the reason for that is because, again, you're going to be buying your Technocyte Coda weapon, and you're actually going to be buying that weapon with these live heart cells. But obviously, you got to get to the Railjack mission first and beat them. Anyways, the next step once you have an active Technocyte Coda is farming the 1999 missions. You're going to have to farm a bunch of 1999 missions to confront a random Technocyte Coda band member. But as a matter of fact, instead of one band member, you will actually be encountering two Technocyte Coda at the same time. And once you damage them enough, they'll be vulnerable to the Parazon, just like the Sisters of Parvos and the Kuvaliches. However, there is a big difference. Instead of Requiem mods and guessing a pattern like the other adversary system, this time we got antivirus mods. You get antivirus mods from a specific bounty mission on the bounty board in the Halvadia Central Mall. And fun fact, you will only need one antivirus mod depending on the Technocyte Coda you face. As you can see on my screen, this is the specific mod that I needed. Long story short, when you equip one of these mods, you will get more progress toward the disinfection. However, by more progress, I mean 5%, because it's really not a lot at all. And this is why I said earlier you're gonna have to farm a lot of 1999 missions, because even if you have the antivirus mod on, every time you encounter the Technocyte Coda and you use the finisher attack on them, that'll only increase your disinfection percentage by 5%. And going from 0 to 100% can take a little bit of time. But if you want my personal opinion on the fastest way to actually farm these missions, I highly recommend doing exterminate bounties on solo. I'm sure there are other methods out there, this is just the method that worked for me. The goal again at this point is to increase that disinfection percentage all the way up to 100% so we can force the Technocyte Coda to flee to the Proxima. And the reason I say exterminate missions are the best for that is because I actually had the best luck with exterminate missions. At the very end, once I got my disinfection percentage all the way up to 85%, I ran 3 exterminate missions back to back, and each time I encountered a Technocyte Coda. Now this was at the end, and this did only happen 3 times in a row, but nonetheless that's still 15% by running 3 missions, which is pretty good in my opinion. By the way, a little tip that I'm gonna throw in here, and I don't know if this is gonna help or not. One thing I'm also gonna recommend while you're doing this exterminate bounty is be on the lookout for this alarm that's gonna go off. The alarm sounds like this.
This sector is home to a Scaldra high.
When you hear that alarm, there will be a Tech Raw enemy trying to hack an infested PC and set off the alarms, which of course means the enemies are going to be more aware of you. And I don't know if this is necessarily going to help out at the end of the day, but every time I saw a Tech Raw enemy trying to activate the alarm, I let the enemy activate the alarm every time, and once the icon disappeared, then I killed them. And again, by doing this, I ended up encountering the Technocyte Coda 3 times in a row, and this was pretty refreshing considering I spent a long ass time farming. Again, I don't know if this is necessarily going to help at the end of the day. You could run any 1999 mission and encounter the Technocyte Coda, but again, I personally recommend exterminate bounties for this reason right here. However, to each their own. If you think there's a better mission type for this, feel free to let me know down in the comments, and if there's a better strategy that you found for this, of course feel free to let me know as well, because from my experience you don't always encounter a Technocyte Coda in every mission. But regardless, I made it and we got that 100% disinfection, and of course once we got the 100% disinfection, the Technocyte Coda fled to the Earth Proxima, and from here we got the Technocyte Coda showdown. And this was a really badass experience when it comes to fighting adversaries. I'm a really big fan of these mission types because we get to use the Railjacks, and Railjacks are one of my favorite things about Warframe. I'm just a really big fan of the concept of them and Railjack missions in general. And for a long time I've wanted some more Railjack content, and this is definitely a nice refresher in that category. Because unlike the other 2 adversary systems where you pull up to an enemy ship, and this one you pull up to a literal infested stadium. Before you pull up to the stadium though, you do have to break some speakers that are playing some pretty interesting music from the Technocyte Coda. But after you break those speakers, you can then fly to the stadium, and that is where you will fight the Technocyte Coda. You definitely cannot be caught lacking in a boss fight like this. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on, but as long as you're confident in your build, you'll do just fine. And besides, this is Warframe. We can die 6 times. Let's not act like this is the most difficult thing in the world. You know what I mean? If you die, you can just respawn. Easy. Just don't die 6 times, or else you're probably gonna be cooked and you're gonna have to do the mission over. Once you defeat the Technocyte Coda, of course, you get the option to vanquish or convert. And for those like myself who are looking to get their hands on the infested weapons, you're gonna want to choose vanquish. Once you choose vanquish and complete the railjack mission, you'll then get live heart cells, which you can use to buy the Technocyte Coda weapons. And the vendor who's going to be selling you these weapons is Eleanor. And yeah guys, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I've talked about the other 2 adversary systems before, so I figured I'd go ahead and talk about this one, especially since it's brand new and it took me quite a while just to get to this point. I'm not going to lie to you. Good luck to anybody else farming these Technocyte Coda weapons out there. Hopefully as you're farming, you don't have to spend hours on end just to get a Technocyte Coda encounter, because for me it definitely took quite a while. But nonetheless, the boss fight at the end was pretty worth it, and the weapon I got was pretty fucking good. And there were definitely a lot of weapons that didn't have the highest amount of a valence bonus, but the one I went with definitely had a good bit. Let me know what you guys think about the Technocyte Coda, as well as the process of farming up these live heart cells to get a weapon, because it's definitely quite interesting. It takes a lot longer than I originally thought, but I guess it's not the worst when you have the right strategy. Before this video ends, real quick, just wanted to say thank you guys so much for all the support on the channel. Seriously guys, I really do appreciate all the support. I got a lot of content on the way now that I got my new PC, and not only does that include Warframe, but a lot of other games as well. So be on the lookout for the videos I got in the future. That's going to be it for me. Keep your head up, stay positive, and with that being said, thanks for watching.